Harold seemed perfectly healthy when he went to bed at 11 p.m. His daughter found him the next morning. The 71-year-old had died peacefully in his sleep, but the coroner's report revealed something his family never expected. Harold had been unknowingly practicing 5 seemingly innocent bedtime habits that medical experts now warn could be life-threatening for people over 70. Tonight, I'm going to show you exactly what those habits are and the simple changes that could save your life. Harold's story repeats itself in emergency rooms across America every single night. The CDC reports that over 3,000 seniors die unexpectedly during sleep each year, and investigators consistently find the same patterns in their final hours. These weren't people suffering from terminal illnesses or obvious health crises. They were individuals like Harold who appeared healthy, but had unknowingly created dangerous conditions in their own bedrooms. Sleep medicine specialists at Stanford University have spent the last decade studying what they call silent bedroom killers, everyday habits that pose no threat to younger adults but become potentially fatal after age 70. Dr. Sarah Chen, who leads the university's geriatric sleep disorder clinic, explains that the aging process fundamentally changes how our bodies handle the stress of sleep. What once helped us rest now works against our most vital systems. The habits themselves appear completely innocent. Millions of seniors practice them every night without any awareness of the risks they're creating. These aren't extreme behaviors or obvious red flags. They're normal preferences and routines that most people would never question. A comfortable room temperature, convenient medication timing, familiar sleeping positions, choices that seem logical and harmless on the surface. The critical difference lies in how dramatically our bodies change after 70. The cardiovascular system that easily managed temperature fluctuations at 50 now struggles with even minor variations. Blood pressure regulation that remained stable for decades suddenly becomes unpredictable during sleep cycles. Heart rhythms that maintained steady patterns throughout middle age begin responding differently to nighttime stressors. Research published in the Journal of American Geriatrics reveals that sleep-related deaths among seniors often involve a combination of factors, rather than a single cause. The study tracked 2,400 adults over 70 for 5 years and found that those who died during sleep shared remarkably similar bedtime routines. Temperature preferences, medication schedules, and sleeping positions created what researchers describe as a compound risk scenario. The 5 specific habits we'll examine were present in Harold's routine and appeared in 78% of the cases studied. Each habit alone might cause minor disruptions, but together they create a cascade of physiological stress that builds throughout the night. The first habit affects core body temperature, which influences blood pressure regulation. The second disrupts the natural circadian rhythm that controls heart rate during sleep. The third compromises breathing patterns and airway function. This cascade effect explains why these deaths often occur in the early morning hours between 4 and 6 a.m. The body reaches its most vulnerable state during this window, when natural protective mechanisms are at their weakest. Any additional stress from environmental factors or medication timing can overwhelm systems that are already working harder than they should. Understanding why these habits become dangerous represents the crucial first step in protecting yourself or someone you care about. The aging process isn't something we can stop, but we can work with our changing bodies instead of against them. Each of the 5 habits has a simple solution that eliminates the risk while actually improving sleep quality. The encouraging news is that these adjustments require no special equipment, expensive treatments, or dramatic lifestyle changes. Small modifications to temperature settings, timing of daily routines, and sleep positioning can eliminate years of accumulated risk in a matter of days. Harold's tragic outcome was preventable, and understanding these 5 habits ensures that similar tragedies don't have to happen to others. Harold's thermostat was set to 78 degrees when his daughter found him that morning. His family mentioned that he had started keeping his bedroom warmer over the past few years, complaining that he felt cold at night. This seemingly reasonable adjustment to stay comfortable may have created the conditions that led to his death. Temperature preferences shift as we age, and most seniors naturally gravitate toward warmer sleeping environments. The body's ability to generate heat declines after 70, making cooler rooms feel uncomfortably cold. Many older adults respond by turning up the heat, adding extra blankets, or closing vents to create a cozy sleeping space. This instinct feels logical and provides immediate comfort, but it sets up a dangerous scenario that plays out during the most vulnerable hours of sleep. Elevated bedroom temperatures after 70 trigger a chain reaction in the cardiovascular system that younger bodies can handle, but aging hearts cannot. When the sleeping environment exceeds 75 degrees, blood vessels dilate to release excess heat. This dilation causes blood pressure to fluctuate dramatically throughout the night, creating spikes that can overwhelm an aging cardiovascular system during deep sleep phases. The aging cardiovascular system faces its greatest challenge during REM sleep, when temperature regulation becomes critical for survival. During this phase, the body normally reduces its ability to regulate temperature through shivering or sweating. In younger adults, this temporary vulnerability passes without incident. In seniors sleeping in overheated rooms, the cardiovascular system must work overtime to maintain safe blood pressure levels. While the body struggles with temperature control, it can no longer manage effectively. Researchers at Johns Hopkins tracked sleep-related health outcomes in 4,200 adults over 70 for 8 years. Their findings revealed that bedrooms maintained above 75 degrees increased stroke risk by 34% compared to those sleeping in cooler environments. The study also found that seniors in warmer bedrooms experienced significantly more irregular heartbeats, blood pressure spikes, and episodes of disrupted breathing during sleep. Warm sleeping environments interfere with the natural drop in core body temperature that signals the onset of restorative sleep. This temperature reduction typically begins about 2 hours before bedtime and continues throughout the night, reaching its lowest point around 4 a.m. When bedroom heat prevents this natural cooling process, the body never enters the deep sleep phases necessary for cardiovascular recovery and cellular repair. The disruption prevents the heart rate from slowing to its protective nighttime rhythm, a process that normally allows the cardiovascular system to rest and recover from daily stress. Instead of dropping to 50-60 beats per minute during deep sleep, heart rates in overheated seniors often remain elevated between 70-80 beats per minute throughout the night. This sustained cardiovascular stress accumulates over time, creating the conditions for serious nighttime health emergencies. Solving this temperature trap requires more than simply adjusting your thermostat. The bedroom environment must support natural temperature regulation while keeping you comfortable enough to fall asleep easily. Keep your bedroom between 65-68 degrees, which research shows optimizes both sleep quality and cardiovascular safety for seniors. Use lightweight, breathable cotton bedding that allows air circulation while providing warmth. Layer blankets so you can adjust coverage without changing room temperature. Breathable cotton sheets and pillowcases prevent moisture buildup that can interfere with natural cooling. A cotton blanket provides warmth without trapping heat close to the body. These adjustments create an environment where your cardiovascular system can enter its protective sleep mode safely, allowing your heart rate to slow naturally while maintaining the comfort you need for restful sleep. Harold's evening routine included taking his blood pressure medication at 9 p.m., just 2 hours before bed. His doctor had prescribed the medication years earlier but never specified timing. So Harold chose bedtime because it felt convenient and ensured he wouldn't forget his daily dose. This well-intentioned decision created a medication schedule that cardiologists now recognize as potentially lethal for seniors. Bedtime medication timing has become increasingly popular among older adults who struggle to remember multiple daily doses. The logic seems sound. Taking medications before sleep eliminates the risk of forgetting them during busy daytime schedules. Pill organizers marketed to seniors often feature evening compartments labeled bedtime to support this approach. Pharmacies rarely provide timing guidance beyond basic instructions like once daily, leaving patients to determine their own schedules. This seemingly harmless timing choice can trigger dangerous blood pressure drops during the early morning hours when seniors are most vulnerable to cardiac events. Blood pressure medications work by relaxing blood vessels and reducing the heart's workload, effects that typically peak 6 to 8 hours after ingestion. When taken at bedtime, these peak effects align perfectly with the body's natural circadian low point, creating a double impact that can drive blood pressure to critically low levels. The human circadian rhythm naturally reduces blood pressure during sleep as part of the body's recovery process. This nightly dip typically occurs between 2 to 6 a.m. and represents a 10-20% decrease from daytime levels. The reduction allows the cardiovascular system to rest and repair damage accumulated during waking hours. In healthy younger adults, this natural drop poses no danger because their cardiovascular systems can quickly adjust to maintain adequate blood flow to vital organs. Seniors taking bedtime blood pressure medications experience this natural circadian dip, while peak medication effects simultaneously drive blood pressure even lower. The combination can reduce blood pressure to levels that fail to adequately perfuse the brain, heart, and kidneys. These organs require consistent blood flow to function properly, and even brief periods of inadequate circulation can trigger strokes, heart attacks, or kidney damage in vulnerable older adults. Emergency cardiologists report a distinct pattern in medication-related cardiac events among seniors, with the highest incidence occurring between 4 to 6 a.m. During these hours, emergency rooms see spikes in admissions for dizziness, falls, chest pain, and stroke symptoms among patients taking evening blood pressure medications. The timing correlation has become so consistent that many hospitals now specifically ask about medication schedules when seniors arrive with early morning cardiac symptoms. The physiological stress created by this medication timing compounds other age-related cardiovascular changes. Aging blood vessels become less flexible and slower to respond to pressure changes. The heart muscle itself becomes less efficient at adjusting output to maintain circulation. When bedtime medications create additional pressure drops on top of natural circadian changes, these aging systems cannot compensate quickly enough to maintain safe blood flow levels. Medication timing represents one of the most critical factors in senior medication safety, yet it receives minimal attention during routine medical appointments. Most doctors focus on dosage and drug interactions, but rarely discuss optimal timing for cardiovascular medications. The difference between morning and evening administration can determine whether a medication protects heart health or creates life-threatening risks. Take blood pressure medications in the morning unless your doctor has specifically instructed otherwise for medical reasons. Morning timing allows medications to work with your natural circadian rhythm instead of against it, providing blood pressure control during active daytime hours while allowing natural nighttime recovery to proceed safely. Harold slept completely flat on his back every night, a position he had maintained for decades without any problems. At 45, this sleeping position caused no issues. At 71, this same position may have contributed to the breathing complications that led to his death. What Harold didn't realize was that his body had developed conditions over the years that made sleeping flat increasingly dangerous. Many older adults develop sleep apnea or gastroesophageal reflux disease without recognizing the symptoms or connecting them to serious health risks. These conditions often emerge gradually after age 65, progressing so slowly that seniors adapt to the symptoms without seeking medical attention. Mild snoring becomes accepted as normal aging. Occasional heartburn gets dismissed as dietary choices. The gradual onset masks the severity of conditions that can become life-threatening when combined with certain sleeping positions. Sleeping flat worsens both sleep apnea and acid reflux, creating scenarios that can lead to serious nighttime medical emergencies. The supine position that once provided comfortable rest now works against the aging body's ability to maintain clear airways and prevent stomach contents from traveling where they shouldn't go. What feels natural and comfortable becomes a setup for aspiration, breathing interruptions, and cardiovascular stress that accumulates throughout the night. Acid reflux affects over 60% of adults over 70, making it one of the most common yet underdiagnosed conditions in this age group. The aging digestive system produces less saliva and stomach acid, while the lower esophageal sphincter weakens with age, These changes allow stomach contents to move upward more easily, especially when lying flat. During sleep, the normal swallowing reflex diminishes, preventing the body from clearing acid that reaches the throat and potentially the lungs. When seniors with undiagnosed acid reflux sleep flat, stomach acid can travel up the esophagus and into the airway, causing aspiration that leads to chemical burns in the lungs. This aspiration often occurs without waking the person, allowing acid to remain in contact with lung tissue for hours. The resulting inflammation can trigger sudden breathing difficulties, pneumonia, or cardiac stress from oxygen deprivation. Sleep apnea episodes become significantly longer and more dangerous when seniors sleep in the supine position. The aging throat muscles lose tone and strength over time, becoming less capable of maintaining open airways against gravitational forces. When lying flat, gravity pulls the tongue and soft tissues backward, creating obstructions that can last 30 to 90 seconds or longer in severe cases. Emergency room physicians report consistent patterns in senior admissions for aspiration pneumonia and breathing emergencies, with the majority occurring in patients who sleep flat on their backs. These admissions spike during winter months when seniors spend more time indoors and may be sleeping longer hours. Many patients arrive with symptoms they've been experiencing for weeks or months, but attributed to normal aging or minor illnesses. The aging throat muscles face their greatest challenge when gravity works against them during sleep. Muscle tone that maintained clear airways for decades gradually weakens after 70, making the supine position increasingly problematic. The combination of reduced muscle strength, gravitational pull, and diminished reflexes creates perfect conditions for airway obstruction during the most vulnerable sleep phases. Most seniors resist elevating their sleeping position because it feels unnatural initially and may cause temporary discomfort as they adjust. However, this adjustment represents one of the most effective ways to prevent serious nighttime complications. Elevate your head and upper body 6 to 8 inches using a wedge pillow or adjustable bed frame that supports your entire torso rather than just your neck. This elevated position harnesses gravity to keep airways open and prevents acid from traveling up the esophagus during sleep. The slight incline maintains natural spinal alignment while providing the protective benefits that can prevent aspiration and reduce sleep apnea severity. Harold's death may have been preventable, and yours can be too. These small adjustments require no special tools, no costly treatments, just awareness and intention. Lowering your bedroom temperature, shifting medication timing, and sleeping with your head slightly elevated can immediately reduce silent risks that build up over time. Start tonight, just one change, then add another tomorrow. Begin with your bedroom temperature, move your medication to the morning, and finally, adjust your sleeping position. And please, share this with someone over 70. They may have no idea these silent dangers even exist, and your message could change or save a life.